Like, here's the thing. I'm a busy guy. I don't have time. It's early in the morning. I have time to stop every little message that you send me. Like, yeah, great. The sprinklers on. I've seen it. Or either God turned them on, or they didn't realize that there was a huge thunderstorm yesterday, and you don't really need to water this grass right now. I don't know which one it is, but as I know, you want me to talk about the last thing I was thinking about as I just walked up on the water. I'm walking through. I'm being baptized. Ah, man, most I got just baptized. Anyway, I was thinking about Jonah. I won't talk about that. Actually, right before I walked up on that, the last thing that I was thinking about, well, here's what I was thinking. I was thinking about Jonah. First, I was thinking about Jonah. I was thinking about how God told me in San Diego, he said, escape. He took my ID and my phone. For real. And I couldn't get any money. And I'm like, are you really sticking me in California again? Like, I'm serious. I was pissed. I was upset to go to San Diego. Squirrel! Don't be coming at me, squirrel. Bird! Leave me alone. Busy. I'm going to make a video. I don't have time for that either. One thing at a time, guys. Anyway, I didn't want to go back into San Diego. It was a tough battle in the darkness, walking through the news. But anyway, so I went back in there because I had my ID and I was gonna get my birth certificate. I was gonna get an ID in San Diego. Right, that's what that. Anyway, see, there's like a million different footnotes. Kaylee McEnany, all kinds of footnotes, citations in this story. I'll try to stick to the story. So I could go all, but like I can tell you like how the sun came up and then this wind came up and then like. I mean, you don't need all these. I can't help it. Anyway, I'm gonna say I get up to Anaheim, right, and I'm outside Disneyland, and I go to sleep, right. It's a spot. I got spots everywhere. I've been all. I got spots everywhere. I wake up and my ID's gone, and I'm like, I had just spent the last bit of money. I had enough money. I had enough money to get to. I was in Anaheim, and then it's like you can get into LA for like $1.60 from that. I could be in San Diego and get to LA for free, but it's a hassle. It takes, but if you got some money, it's like a dollar. The bus is like $1.60. You can get up to Norwalk, right? You can just jump on the Green Line and you're in LA, right? So I got some money. But I had spent all my money, like, because I'm like, I got my ID. I'm not worried about it because I can get into the bank. Nope. I wake up, I go in my pocket, my ID is gone. And right before that, there was like this message. There was a couple messages. It was like, escape. And then it was like, stay hopeful. Those were the messages. I'm like, are you serious? I just got out of here. I just got out of here, and then I was in Vegas, and I left Vegas because now I'd only been there like 2 days, and it was right after I had no money. There's no way I could escape. That's how I ended up walking out of LA. I walked out. Anyway, that's another story. See, I'm telling you about there were ravens and like thing happened to Sousa as I was walking through the blue cut and the storm came on. It was like this ice storm. That's a whole other story, and that's not the story that I'm telling. Right? Anyway, I get back to Vegas, but whatever. It's kind of like Jonah, right? Because I was going out, he wanted me to come here. This is Nineveh, I guess. Or Vegas is Nineveh. I don't even know. One of them's Nineveh. But we've completed Jonah. That's not the point of the story either. Okay, so I was thinking about that. That was like that's what I was thinking about. Like before, I got 2 blocks away from the sprinklers. Then I started thinking about Taylor Swift and the basement and how I got the basement and how Taylor Swift writing all her songs about me. And I was thinking about how I'm not going to go out with Taylor Swift because, I mean, she went out with a tight end. I'm like a quarterback. That's a downgrade for me. Dating a chick who went out with a tight end. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm the head of the team. I'm a quarterback. You know, that's what I was. Then I was thinking about that. Then right before that, I started thinking about the video I made yesterday. Like this is like within like 3 minutes. These are all my thoughts in 3 minutes. And then I started thinking, then it jumped into like the video that I made yesterday when Jesus is going, my yoke is a, my yoke. And I made the video under it that's like, pick up your cross and carry, because those two things contradict each other. I don't know if anybody in Christianity or the Catholic Church, like in the couple thousand years that they've been preaching that, like nobody was like, well, this shit doesn't make any sense because how's your yoke easy, but I got to pick up my cross and carry it in the narrow gate, and nobody can get through it, but your yoke is light, and don't worry about it. But I'm forgiven for my sins, but I got to be crucified. I'm forgiven for my sins because of you, but I got to be crucified. Then I came up on the water, right? And now, see, I just told that whole story, and I forgot what part I was going to tell was. Then I came up on that water. I think that was what I was going to tell. Oh, and then right after that, then I came up on the water. Then the water was going, and then it's like make the video, and now see now we're up to where we're at now. And I was like back to the cross thing, right? There's parts in the gospel that, like, okay, it depends on which gospel you go to, right? Some will be like, Jesus said everything in parables, and nobody understood him, right? Why would you walk around with, you walked around with these dudes for like 3 years and they're healing people and everybody's coming alive, but you didn't explain anything to them? You know what I mean? And then there's other gospels that'll be like, Jesus didn't tell everybody, but then in private, he told all the apostles what he was talking about. Well, if he told everybody what he's talking about, and the Vatican's the line of Peter, and Christianity's built off that, and it's like supposed to be this whole thing because it's like supposed to be the succession. Like that's the whole basis of Christianity. It's like we can trace it from. It doesn't matter if you became Protestant. That's how it started. We can trace it from Peter to Apollos, the Pope Apollos, the Pope Leo to Papa Francis. That's the whole basis of the hierarchy of Christianity. Is that you can trace the spirit from Peter all the way to the current Pope Leo. Right? They try to be like Jews, detail records, except they're missing about like 300 years, so they had to make up popes. Right? That's the whole basis of the power of Christianity in Jesus Christ. I mean, really, other than the yoke of rest, but anyway, the reason that they're able to forgive your sins, and the reason that they're able to like use do confirmation and put the Holy Spirit on you and all that stuff is because Jesus supposedly handed the power over the apostles, and the apostles apparently give it in a line of succession. So the Pope, that's why the Pope's supposed to be such a big deal, because he's the vicar of Christ, the representation. He has all the power because it's been passed along like I don't know, like a bloodline, right? So anyway, here I digress. There's lots. I know a lot of stuff. So we get to like so some of the gospels say, and then later he told the apostles in private what he's talking about, but nobody knows. I thought it was the succession of Peter. You guys didn't pass along the knowledge, just the ability to fucking forgive everybody's sins. We gave you the ability to forgive everybody's sins, but we didn't tell you why or how it works or anything like that. We don't know. We don't have that information. We lost it. We didn't write it down because we were fishermen. We could only write in Greek. We could barely write Hebrew, but apparently we could write all these letters in Greek and stuff. But that's another story too. Here's back to the point, right? So Jesus says, "You must pick up your cross." And I think it's in this gospel. I don't know which gospel it is. It's in a couple. You must pick up your cross and carry it if you want to follow me, right? And I don't know why you don't like. If everybody didn't know what he was talking about, you don't think anybody like raised their hand and said, "Excuse me, what's a cross?" Because it says like later when he was being crucified, they're like, "Oh, that's what he was talking about." You know what I mean? Like there wasn't anybody get crucified on a cross before that. It wasn't a predominant thing. The Romans weren't crucifying everybody everywhere because there was a war going on between the Romans and the Jews at the time. There's like for like years, hundred years, right? But nobody. But anyway, back to the cross thing. Nobody raised their hand and goes, "Excuse me, Jesus, what's a cross?" Like he just like that. That's like the basis, like one of the foundations of Jesus' teaching is you must pick up your cross and carry it. That's why everybody wears these crosses. That's why the crucifixion happened. That's why and nobody raised their hand like when he said that and said, or in private when he explained everything and said, Peter didn't go, "Excuse me, Jesus, what's a cross?" Which brings us to the other point, like since he told everybody in private, but then when they went into Jerusalem, he's like, "My time has not come yet. You don't know when my time has come." What is it? Like it was a mystery to all the apostles when he's getting crucified, so they all ran away because they were scared. But he told everybody you're going to have to pick up your cross, and then he told all the apostles to pray. There's just a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. I'm just trying to sort through it. A Papa Leo can explain it to. I mean, I didn't go to theology school. He did. He's the Pope now. Like he's the representation of Jesus Christ. So he should have this information for me. Thank you.